Hey there. Tonight, I've got 3 true-sounding stories about people who went deep into nature and came face to face with something they never should have seen. All 3 of them were alone. All of them were hunted. And each story comes from a different national park somewhere around the world. So turn the lights down, put your headphones in, and listen close. Story 1. The Thing in the Snow, Jigokudani Monkey Park, Japan. I went to Japan last winter to escape everything for a while. Life had been loud and messy, and I needed quiet. So I picked a quiet spot, Jigokudani Monkey Park. Not many people go there in deep winter, especially alone. But that's what I wanted. Just me, snow, and the monkeys soaking in hot springs. I stayed at a tiny inn nearby. The owner smiled when I said I'd be hiking the trails around the park at night. He nodded, but his eyes didn't smile. "Don't leave the path," he said. "And if you hear someone behind you, don't turn around." I thought it was just a weird local thing. You know, legends to scare tourists. I laughed it off. But that night, after the sun dropped and the wind picked up, I found out he wasn't joking. The trees creaked under the weight of snow. Everything was silent, except for the crunch of my boots. I followed a narrow trail, flashlight bouncing off snow-covered branches. I was hoping to catch a glimpse of a snow monkey, but instead, I heard something else. Footsteps. At first, I thought it was an echo of my own steps, but then I stopped walking, and the sound kept going. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Someone or something was behind me. I turned fast, but there was nothing. Just a white path stretching behind, undisturbed. No prints, no shadow, just trees. I kept walking. Maybe I was spooked. Jet lag, cold, whatever. But after a few minutes, it started again. This time, slower, closer. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I whispered. "Hello?" No answer. I turned again. And this time, I saw it. Half hidden behind a tree was something tall. Way taller than a man. It looked like it was wearing a thick, tattered coat. But no, the coat was part of it. Its skin looked like snow-covered bark. Its limbs long and thin like branches. The face was the worst part. Blank. No eyes, no mouth. But I knew it was looking at me. I ran. I didn't think. I didn't plan. I just ran. The trail blurred. I slipped once, hard. My flashlight flying into the snow. I left it. Behind me, I heard it moving faster now. No more slow crunches. This was crashing, breaking branches. Something huge rushing through the forest. I could barely breathe. I followed the trail as best I could, heart hammering, lungs on fire. Then I saw lights, the faint glow of the inn through the trees. I didn't stop until I slammed the door behind me. The old man at the desk was waiting. He didn't look surprised, just handed me a cup of tea with shaking hands. "You look back," he said quietly. "Most people don't." I stayed in my room the rest of the trip. I never saw the monkeys, but every night I heard the crunch of footsteps just outside my window. Story 2. The Climber Who Wasn't Me. Aoraki Mount Cook National Park, New Zealand. I've always climbed alone. Some people say that's stupid. Maybe it is, but I like the silence, the space to think. That's why I chose Aoraki, the tallest mountain in New Zealand. The trail wasn't easy, but it was beautiful. Snowy peaks, icy lakes, and air so clean it almost hurt. I planned a 3-day solo trip. I carried all I needed: tent, food, gear. The first night was calm, stars above me, wind whispering across the ice. I felt good, like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. The second day, something felt off. About an hour into the climb, I spotted someone ahead of me, a climber, maybe 100 meters away, but they were standing still, not walking, not climbing, just standing and looking at me. I waved. No reaction. I kept moving. Every time I looked up, they were in the same place, still, staring. Eventually, they disappeared behind a rock. When I passed that same spot, there was no one there. That night, I set up my tent beside a frozen stream. I was exhausted but uneasy. That feeling you get when someone's watching you from the dark. I zipped up and tried to sleep. Around midnight, I heard the crunch of boots outside. Slow, Steady, just one pair. My tent rustled like fingers brushing it. I whispered, "Who's there?" Silence. Then I heard my own voice from outside the tent. It said, "It's me." But I hadn't spoken. I froze. The zipper started to move. Slowly, I grabbed my ice axe and shouted, "Back off!" Silence again. No sound, no shadow. Morning came finally. I stepped outside to look around. That's when I saw the footprints. Just one set, circling my tent again and again. And they were mine. Exact size, same boots. But I never left the tent. I packed fast and hiked down, but the trail had changed. I kept seeing flashes of movement between the trees. Once, when I glanced into a patch of fog, I saw him, just standing there. Same jacket, same face, but wrong. Its eyes were wrong, too wide, too pale. I took a photo with my phone, but it wouldn't save. The screen just glitched out. I didn't stop walking till I reached the car. Didn't stop till I got home. Now, sometimes, I see myself out of the corner of my eye, in mirrors, windows, standing behind me, waiting. Story 3, Frozen Calls Banff National Park, Canada. It was supposed to be peaceful. That's what I told myself. One last solo camping trip before the year ended. Just me, some snow, a fire, and the stars. I picked Banff, quiet in winter, less tourists, more room to think. I packed light, just a tent, food, and a borrowed satellite phone. Hiked out past the marked trails, way into the backwoods. I set up camp near a frozen lake that wasn't even named on my map. The first night was fine, cold as hell, but peaceful. I built a fire, made some tea, and watched the trees sway under moonlight. Then I heard it. A voice far off in the trees. A woman's voice, whispering something I couldn't make out. I froze, thought maybe it was the wind, but the sound came again. Clearer this time. It said my name, my real name, not something someone could guess. It sounded like my mom, but not right, like her voice through a broken speaker. I stood up, shined my flashlight into the trees. Nothing, just branches swaying. No footprints, no animals, just snow. I didn't sleep that night. Next morning, I found tracks in the snow. Bare feet, no shoes, no socks. Just deep prints that circled my tent, again and again. I wanted to leave, but the trail was gone. Covered by new snow, or maybe just wrong. My compass spun. My phone wouldn't turn on. And the satellite phone? Dead, even though I charged it fully before I left. That night, I stayed inside my tent with the zipper shut and my hunting knife in hand. Around midnight, the whisper came again, but now it was more than one voice. They circled me, dozens of them, calling my name. Some sounded like old friends, some like people I hadn't heard in years, some were strangers. Then they stopped, and one voice, right outside the tent said, "Come out, it's warmer now." I didn't move, didn't blink. The tent suddenly pushed inward, like someone threw themselves against it, and again, and again. I screamed, stabbed the knife through the wall. Silence. Morning came. I opened the tent to find long, claw-like tears across the fabric. No blood, just frost. I ran. No food, no gear, just a knife in a vague direction. I walked for hours. Finally, I reached a ranger station, collapsed at the door. They didn't believe the story, of course. Said it was cold stress, hallucinations, maybe bad water. But I know what I heard. I know what I saw. And sometimes, even now, when I stand near forests or frozen lakes, I hear a voice on the wind. It calls my name. Every time it sounds more like me. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, you're a real one. And if you ever go camping alone, just remember, not everything out there wants to be left alone. Stay safe, and good night.